Welcome to today's video. Today we are going to talk about Lal Nil Dipaboli, and we are going to compare it to another book that I have called the English Literature, its history and its significance for the life of the English speaking world. Let's begin. First, this book Lal Nil Dipaboli, it is also called the Biography of Bangla Literature. In comparison, or talking about the book giving general descriptions, Lal Nil Dipaboli is targeted towards a younger audience. This book is in length, it is a short book, and it follows a chronological order. It starts from the very beginning. First it gives an introduction, then it starts from the very beginning. It tells the story of how the literature started, and a simple or almost a very quick description of the land, how the Bangla race, Bengali race, how it started, and then gradually describes the different periods of Bangla literature. One thing I have to say about this book is that it does not elaborate anything unnecessarily. It keeps everything short and sweet so that the audience does not get bored in any way. The writer always wants to keep the audience, the readers, entertained and at the same time inform them about our literature. Another thing is that the writer is very much enthusiastic in his tone, and we can feel the admiration he has for Bangla literature when we read the book. Comparing to the other one, I guess this is not a fair comparison because this book does not target young audiences, but I can tell you that how this book is better than this one in many ways. This book has its own potential, has its own merits. It is written for another purpose, but this is what I have for comparison. I don't have any other book. This is the only one I have. This is the only one I have read. To be honest, I haven't read the entire book. I just read only the portions I needed to pass the exam. But I did read some of it. Okay, so you can see in length this book is at least 5 to 7 times larger than this one. Smaller than this one. This book is 5 to 7 times smaller than this one. This book also follows a chronological order, but in this book you will see that the author described everything in detail, like how the English race started, how the language evolved over time, how the periods of English literature are connected with the society, the writings of each period, how the writers of those periods were influenced by their contemporary time. All of these things have been mentioned here in detail. In this book, however, everything is kept, like I have said before, short and sweet. You get all the information you need and you get it with very less effort. Okay, so if I go through the book, we see that when it talks about the language or the literature in the beginning, it says that Bangla literature was never appreciated by the higher class people, the upper class of the society then, and the then society used to compose literature in Sanskrit language, and that was their standard. When people started uh, writing their literary works in Bangla, it was not very well received in the society. We can say the same thing about English. When English writers started writing in English, it was not received in a very well manner. The upper class then uh, composed literature in another language, so that did not work well for English. So there is some similarities. Another thing is that Bangla literature in many ways is influenced by English literature. Now that doesn't have to do anything with these books that I am comparing, but it is something that should be kept in mind. I am going to say my favorite points of the book Lal Nil Dipaboli. Like, what are the things that I have personally found interesting and I liked from the book. So what I liked about the book is that it not just mentions the literary works of the middle period or the old period, it also gives a description of the work, like a small summary. Actually, it tells us the story of what actually happened in that literary work. It gives the context, but in a sweet manner. It does not impose it on the reader. Like, it's not it's not so elaborately discussed that the audience lose their interest. I want to mention two lines from this book that says that how important translation is for a language. It says that in order for a language to become rich, it must translate works from other languages. That is very important. We see that this translation period happened in the middle period of Bangla literature. In that time, a lot of the works from other languages like Sanskrit, Hindi, Arabic, Urdu were translated into Bangla, and that enriched Bangla in general. And for every language, this thing is necessary. It happened for English also. A lot of the work comes from the Greek literatures, the Latin literature, French, uh, maybe French, I think so, French, the Arabic literature, the Middle Easterns. A lot of things came outside the English society and it entered in the form of translation, and that helps a language to become rich. And that's what I can think about right now about this book. Thank you for watching the video.